Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm your minister, Reverend Stephen Van Meter. I'm so excited this morning. We have a little gift for you, something different. So, Nancy Bankston is a licensed practitioner here at the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living and has been living the science of mind for the past 17 years. She's been delving into greater consciousness for some 50 years, having studied many spiritual disciplines, and is now in her second term in the ministerial school at the Seaside campus of Holmes Institute in Encinitas, California. She's also our board president. Her talk today, Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, is part of her school assignment, so you will notice that you have an evaluation form that is accompanying your program. This form is voluntary and anonymous, so don't put your name on it, unless you want her to know what you're thinking. Please just place the documents in the large cardboard box back at the Love in Action table that says evaluations on it. And after you complete it today, and the document will be used to go with her class next week when she returns to Seaside for her final ministerial as speaker class. And what I can tell you about Nancy personally is that she is a kindred spirit, and she is delving deep into her spiritual roots and has been called forward to express as a minister, and as such, our ministerial students need to have some experience doing this. So it is with pleasure that I allow Nancy to take this Sunday service and to extend her love to us. Let's hear it for Nancy Bankston.
Thank you. Have you got me on here?
Can you hear me now? Thank you, Stephen, Reverend Stephen, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you all for being here. And I'm really thinking, now that Spirit Sound did their thing, I don't really need to give my talk. We can just all have snacks and hang out and love each other for the rest of the day.
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. The songs this morning are all about my talk material, actually. And one thing that people may not know about our services is that our services are coordinated with music, prayer, and the talk theme that Reverend Stephen has. So I actually inherited the theme for this week from him, since we're staying on theme for the month of February. And this week, and it's, of course, February is the big love month, right? So the theme for this week was love and the law of attraction. What you radiate out to the world is what comes back to you, right? That's just the simple law of attraction story. So everybody has expectations about love, right? We just went through the whole big Valentine's loving thing. And if you are, what are your expectations about love? How did you get them formed? What did you expect for Valentine's Day? Interesting questions, huh? Well, we just had that experience, and if you're in a relationship, sometimes Valentine's Day can be the most wonderful day of the year because it's got all the hype. You get the cards, you get the flowers, you get the candy, and you get the special dinners and the little love notes, and maybe even that little love nest getaway. You know what I mean. You know what. Everybody's had at least one of those in their life. But that's only for one day, right? One day you've got that going on. And then, poof, it's gone. Now, if you're not in relationship, it could be the worst day of your life because you begin to believe that you are now unlovable. Nobody wants me. Why don't I have somebody? How is it that I'm here all by myself on this day when everybody's supposed to be loving everybody? Or, if you are happy that you're not in a relationship, you can say, thank heavens, that is over. I don't have to deal with that mess anymore. Or, if you are in relationship with yourself, It can be the best day of your life. You can take the dog for an extra walk. You can play catnip mouse with the cat. You can teach the bird a new song. You can kiss your squirrels 100 million times and tell them how wonderful they are. That's for you, Annie. Annie's saving the world one squirrel at a time, and I love her for it. So I know that Annie was kissing the squirrels on Valentine's Day. Or you can even just take yourself to a movie and eat all the popcorn, drink the soda, or if you really want to get frisky, you go and you buy the best chocolate, you take it home, and you don't have to hide it from anybody else. Right? Right? Well, you know, a group of professionals asked some little kids what they thought love meant and what love was. And it was amazing when I looked at this research, because there was a little fellow named Bobby who was age 7. And he said, love is what's in the room when you stop opening Christmas presents and you just listen. Isn't that sweet? 7. But check this out. Little Terry, age 4, said, love is what makes you smile when you're tired. Well, what if all that love was available to you all the time? What if that was always with you, ever present? Well, I got a secret for you. It is. That's what the creative essence is all about. That's what the voice of God singing through your life was all about in the song. It's always there. And my message today is that your perfect partner is always within you. That love. Doesn't matter what you call it. Doesn't matter if you call it God, Spirit, Buddha, Allah. I don't care. Source, Goddess, Great Spirit. It's all the same thing. And it's the thing that we are. It is what is within us. It's the love that we were made from. Reverend Jane Beach, who has been here several times in the past, said that her greatest love affair that she ever experienced was with the beloved, which is what she calls Spirit. And that is her name for it. And you may have your own name for it. That spirit within, that voice within you calls your name. And there is something about being in relationship with someone else when just the sound of their voice makes that sparkle happen in your eye and you begin to feel so special, just the sound of their voice. Even the little kids that were interviewed about what love is knew this. Little Billy, age 4, said, when someone loves you, the way they say your name is different. And we know this, right? And he said, you just know that your name is safe in their mouth. Now think about that. The people that you love, whether they're your friends or your family, whether they're important to you or they've just passed through your life and their memories now, your name was safe in their mouth because they loved you. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Your name is safe in the mouth of Spirit. In fact, this idea wasn't so strange because in 1995, old Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell had a Motown hit that brought that idea home real clear. The line in there was, no other sound is quite the same as your name. And that was so powerfully filled with love and adoration for the beloved that they sang about in that song. It's so great to feel that love and excitement of being in that love and loving space, isn't it? Well, the reality is that we were created from one loving presence. It knows our name. It has a special name, and we have a special name for it, whatever that may be. That source is only love. And that love is hardwired into every molecule of your being and throughout the cosmos. In fact, I really loved this because one of these little kids, I think, had the inside track on this whole creation thing. When they asked Karen, who was age 7, what she thought about love, she said, well, When you love somebody, your eyelashes go up and down, and little stars come out of you. Isn't that a picture? So just imagine this now. Take it a step further. So here's this infinite source. Eyelashes going up and down, and all the stars flying out into the universe. Isn't it? I wonder if the Big Bang people know that's how it happened. I don't know. You know, our founder, Dr. Holmes, the founder of religious science, Dr. Ernest Holmes, he said that the universe has no favorites. Everyone is equally loved and supported, and it has a voice. This is from the Science of Mind text, as he said, "We do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a love beyond our fondest dreams." The mystic poet William Wordsworth spoke to that also. And I love this quote, so just bear with me here because it's so beautiful. He wrote, "And I have felt an indwelling presence that disturbs me with joy of elevated thoughts, a sense sublime of something far more deeply interfused, whose dwelling is the light of setting suns, and the round ocean, and the living air, and the blue sky, and in the mind of man, a motion and a spirit that impels all thinking thoughts, all objects of all thoughts, and it rolls through all things." Just imagine being disturbed with the joy of elevated thoughts every day of your life. You can turn to that channel of your inner voice anytime that you want. You don't have to worry about how to get there. It doesn't dwell in some faraway place. You don't have to have somebody go between you to talk to it. You can turn that on and tune into it. So you may ask yourself, what does all this have to do with the law of attraction? It's nice to hear about love and spirit and all of those things. Well, we're going to go back to that right now. The law of attraction says what you send out, you get back. So when we're feeling unloved and icky, we radiate that unlovingness, right? Some of us demonstrate that through frowning, being cranky, or kicking the dog. Hopefully not, but sometimes that happens. It's obvious, though. I know that every one of you have been, at some time or another, having the best day of your life and just loving life the way it is, and somebody who's not having a loving day walks in and they just suck the air right out of the room. Isn't that true? And suddenly you're like, oh my word, what happened here? The whole energy shifted. But that same thing can happen when the person is filled with joy and filled with love and walks in, and you can be having kind of a funky day, and then suddenly you're lifted up by that loving presence. You're lifted up by that radiation of love. And it makes all the difference to turn the light on in that room. So how do we turn in to that inner voice, to be able to really hear it come through for us? How can we get it whenever we want it? Well, just for a moment, I'm going to ask you to indulge in a little trip down memory lane. So if you just sit back, relax, get comfortable, you can, yeah, it is the Wayback Machine. It's just like out of Back to the Future. If you wish, you can just close your eyes and just settle back and enjoy the ride. I want you to bring to mind an experience in your life when you felt so filled with love that you thought your heart would just burst. Just see it without attachment to whomever may be there in the picture with you. Could have been that first high school sweetheart that you had. Could have been your first pet that filled a space in your heart. Could have been holding your newborn baby for the first time. Or it could have been that first real close slow dance when you were so awkward But it felt so good to hear that other person singing those slow dance words in your ear as you moved around, not quite knowing what to do. Just relax into that moment that's yours and yours alone. Just relax into that lovingness. All that radiant warmth as you recall it. Just bask in it. And now while you're feeling that loving presence, open your inner ear and allow that inner voice to tell you that for as good as those memories feel, you are even more loved and held more closely in love every minute of every day of your life by that spirit within. Listen to that inner voice now. Recognize it. Know that it is yours and yours alone, and it is the real thing. And now, as we return to this time and space, you can keep that love in your heart, in your voice, in your ear. Consider the energy that's flowing from you right now in that loving moment, in that memory, in that knowingness of the spirit within that loves you beyond all measure. Now you've got a smile, a wink, a nod tucked into your heart space. And you can turn to that anytime throughout the day. Anytime. As you feel this love flowing from you now that you've experienced, just feel it all through this whole room. I know that it's all in here. I feel it myself. And it's just an amazing, amazing feeling to have that shared love. Feels good, huh? Yeah. It's always there. Spirit is always as close as your heartbeat, closer than your breath. Closer than the hair on your head. I guarantee it. So I've got an affirmation for you this week so that you can remember what you're doing here with this. I want you to remember it, okay? And the affirmation, you can get your pencils out because everybody wanted to do that, and we're gonna, if you want to write it down, you can, and if you don't want to, that's okay too. Makes no difference to me. I'm just giving you something to play with here because it's fun, and it's how we remember things. It's how we change our lives through the words that we speak, through the things that we affirm every day in our conscious and unconscious ways. So I'm giving you a conscious way. I radiate love wherever I go. That's it. Go ahead and say it. I radiate love wherever I go. Got it? Let's do it again. I radiate love wherever I go. What'd you say? I radiate love wherever I go. Now, isn't that fun? Doesn't that feel better? Like, oh, I don't like anybody and they don't love me. I'm not even going to bring that here. So I just want to share with you a thought from Dr. Christian Sorensen at the Seaside Center. He encourages us to celebrate love, to celebrate our family, to celebrate your partner, to celebrate your friends, to celebrate life. Take that time this week to celebrate everyone and anything in your life, as small as it may be. Celebrate your willingness to be open and to trust that you are loved, that you are lovable, and that you are loving all the time. Celebrate that. And just celebrate how amazingly lovable people are around you. The law of attraction says that what you send out must return. So if you are radiating love, that love is going to be coming right back at you. Just see what happens this week as you play around with that. You'll find that once you start radiating love and you see it reflected back to you, it becomes your natural way of being. It's now your default setting, like on the computer. You're just radiating love wherever you go. It's like a normal thing, and everything just keeps coming back to you that way. Allow yourself the pure joy of having a deep relationship with Spirit, with that Spirit within you, and a deep relationship with the Spirit of love that is in everyone else. Find it, look for it, and you will see it. It is there, because we're all made out of that same God stuff. The eyelashes of God blinked up and down, and every one of us flew out. There you go. For as Dr. Holmes said, if we listen for that inner voice, it's always there. And that inner voice tells us of a love beyond our fondest dreams. And I will share this with you because music has always been very important to me. In closing, if you have a minute's hesitation, always fall back on Motown messages. They're infallible. And as Marvin and Tammy sang, I'm well aware that nothing can take the place of you being there. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. So it is. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the space to practice my path and my calling. I appreciate all of you for that. Also, now, as is our custom, we're going to do a prayer to close this little segment. And so we're going to be praying love out into the world with us and beyond. So just taking that moment to recognize that one divine, infinite, loving presence, calling it to mind in the form that is most close and most comfortable and most wonderful to you. Just bring it to the forefront of your mind as we speak words of love right now. The words of infinite love of Spirit that moves in, through, and as all creation permanently, infinitely, inseparably. For it is the source of all love, and it is interwoven into every fiber, every molecule of our being as creations from that one love. So I speak this word for and about love for everyone here in this congregation, in this meeting and assembly. I speak the word of love that flows in and through each of you, that each of you is filled with love, that truckloads of love continue to radiate from you and continue to pour into your life in the most identifiable ways. I speak that same love for everyone throughout our community, for the folks who couldn't be here, for the people who believe or feel or have lost hope that they are lovable. I speak a word of truth that they are, in fact, that everyone, every creation, animal, plant, person, stellar, interstellar, all creation is an emanation of that love of presence. And so I speak this word, knowing that each person is blessed. The world is blessed because we love. And as you love and bless the world, great blessings are sure to return. And I give such great gratitude knowing the truth of love in each and every creation, knowing the truth of love of that source that created each of us in love. And I am so very grateful. So I just give thanks. And I release this word, this blessing, directly into the living, loving law of mind that always says yes where it is already done. And I know this is so. And I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Back to you, Stephen.